This took forever to set up, Katara. You are not messing it up. No, you're not. No, you're not. Oh, she's totally gonna mess it up. Hello everybody, I'm Anna. I'm one of the 2 mythical unicorns. Welcome to our channel and to this video. It is great to have you here. Today we will be talking about books, which we usually do. And I did a video trying to figure out how international my bookshelves were. And when I did that, I realized I had a lot of American authors in my bookshelf. I had quite a few British and quite a few Australian as well, but like... So, today we're seeing how American my bookshelves are. And we're doing that by saying from how many states are the authors from. So, I have a list of all 50 states, and it's in alphabetical order. And then I went through my bookshelves and I tried to find an author for every state. And this is how I did. Let's get started. So, to find out if the author was from a specific state, I googled the author. Most of these authors were born in the state in which I have categorized them. So they could have moved. They don't need to have lived there for very long. But most of these authors are born in the state, were born in the state in which I put them. But there are a few exceptions where the author currently lives there or has spent time there, like living there for a while. Because, you know, sometimes it's hard to find information, and I was not gonna go all like detective and stalker mode and just I did it easy for myself. I googled them, looked at Wikipedia, born in, and that's what we went with most of the time. So now let's get into it. Alabama, Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird, read it, liked it. Not gonna read the sequel, cause just no. Then we have Alaska, and for that I have nothing. And then we have Arizona, and for that I have Alexandra Bracken. She wrote The Passenger and The Wayfarer, that is over there. Really enjoyed it. Nothing groundbreaking, revolutionary, just a good book. And then we have Arkansas, and I've got nothing. And then we have California, and for this I had a few authors, but we're going with Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I have the entire trilogy down there, and this is my jam. Like, this is the thing. What, Katara? Do you agree? Is this what gets you going too? Yeah? Yeah, good stuff. Like, not perfect, but yeah. And then we have Colorado, Pierce Brown, Red Rising. Have next few books here. Really enjoyed it. Getting into sci-fi. Then we have Connecticut, and for that I went with Tahir Mafi, A Very Large Expanse of Sea. I have her other fantasy books as well, but that is in Swedish. I don't know the translation. Love the first book. What, Katara? Not my favorite book, because it's not my favorite genre, but it was very good, and I think it's an important book that can teach you a lot about how other people see the world and what their experience is. So very good, highly recommend. Then we have Delaware, and I've got nothing for Delaware. And then we have Florida, and we have Michelle Hodkin, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I've read it. I remember nothing. Like, nothing. I remember enjoying it while I read it, but it's just blank. And where were we? Oh, yeah, Georgia. And then we have James Dashner. And this is from the dystopian era. Not my favorite from the dystopian, you know. But this one has a male main character. So good for Maze Runner. Really still enjoyed it. Like, the books are better than the movies. What? And then we have Hawaii in Idaho. And I've got nothing. Illinois. Mark Lawrence, Prince of Thorns. Really interesting dystopian fantasy. Not really my cup of tea, because the main character is a bit evil, dark, mean, doesn't mind killing people, but he grows, and it's a good growth, and it has some really interesting aspects. And he has written another fantasy series, like Red Sister or something like that it's called, and I really want to read that. Moving on. Indiana, and we have the Brothers Green. I know they're not there anymore, but you know, go Indiana. So Hank Green and John Green, great books. Very different authors, very different books. But you know, happy, no, it's not happy, but like teenager romance, quite easy to read. Early 20s, finding yourself getting caught up in sci-fi stuff. Let's not spoil anything for... I recently did a review for the sequel of this one, so if you want to check it out, we'll link it down below. Iowa, nothing. Kansas, nothing. Kentucky, Kit Alloway, Dream World. 2 books in one, Dream Fire and Dream Fever. I haven't read this one actually. I got this one for free when the sci-fi bookstore were changing their location, because I bought books for a certain amount and then this one came for free. It looks really interesting, so I probably should read it. Moving on. Louisiana. Lindsay Duga, Kiss of the Royal. So I don't know where she's born, I don't know where she resides, but she went to the University of Louisiana, which I assume is in Louisiana. I did not check, but like, I thought this would count. Mixed emotions. Like, I think I would have loved it when I was 17. Thing is, I read this like 2 years ago. 25 is not 17. So I had some issues, but had an interesting premise and interesting way that magic worked. And then we have Maine, and for Maine we have Stephen King. And I tried to read this. There is a video on the channel where I talk about trying to read this. It did not go well. I did read the sequel to The Shining though. So I've read one Stephen King book. I've also read his writing book. Moving on, we don't have time for this. Then we have Maryland, and for that I have Leon Riz, Mila 18, and this is the old stuff. This I got from my mom. I love this book. It takes place during the Second World War. It's in Poland or something like that. They are, most of them are in a ghetto, and that is where they live, and it's really good. Massachusetts. That is really hard to say. I can hear it in my head. I can hear other people say it. It's just when I try to say it out loud. See, now I'm just too much in my head. It doesn't work. We're moving on. Madeline Miller. Did not really enjoy this book. I read most of it, but I never finished it. It's just too slow paced. There is no real drive, so yeah. Moving on. Michigan. Rochelle Mead, Vampire Academy. Swedish translation. These were a long time ago I read. Oh, I think a lot of people read these after Twilight, like as rebound book, but I read most of them before I read Twilight. This is like my original vampire love. Michigan. Scott Lynch, The Lies of Loch Lamora. Also quite old, read it like 10 years ago. Really enjoyed it. It's really interesting, but it is a bit slow paced. I do have a sequel in my bookshelf and I still never read it. So I guess that says something, but still very interesting. Mississippi, Donna Tartt. I don't know the translation to this one, but no, Donna Tartt. I got this for my uncle. I got a few books from him when I graduated high school. So that is when I read this. It's a fine book. Missouri. This is the good stuff. Jim Butcher. This is not the first book, because the first book is on loan to someone. I don't know who. But these are Alex's books. So who am I to judge if he gives them away to everyone? I think it was in July. Number like 18 or something came out. We were really excited to read the new one. Montana, Brent Weeks. And I also have the last one of this one. It came out last year, I think. So I've read everyone but the last one. I'm getting to it. Nebraska, Brandon Sanderson. More magical good stuff. Great fantasy. Quite a heavy read, but you know, it is great if you haven't read it. And we have Nevada, nothing. And then we have New Hampshire, nothing. And then we have New Jersey. And for that we have Holly Black. And this is another one of those that just I love them. You know, it has some issues, maybe, but you know, it is great. I love it. New Mexico. Benjamin Alire Sainz. Don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Aristotle and Dante discovers the secrets of the universe. And this is just one of the most beautiful coming of age, finding yourself, friendship, romance stories. I just love this so much. This is great. I think there's a review of it on the channel. We will link it down below. Michelle made me read this. Made me. She had to try really hard. And then we have New York, Sarah J. Maas. And if this pile of books did not tell you that I like her books, then I don't know what will. Like, yes, has its issues, like it's not perfect, but you know, it's pretty close. North Carolina, no. North Dakota, no. Ohio, whoop whoop. Cinda Williams Shima, Flamecaster. I have the sequels here, but I haven't gotten to it, but I'm very excited for it. Another fantasy. There's a lot of fantasy in here, because, you know, fantasy is life. Then we have Oklahoma and Oregon, and I've got nothing. Then we have Pennsylvania. We have Maureen Johnson, Truly Devious. Great thriller detective book, especially if you don't want anything too gruesome, too bizarre, haunt your nightmares. Just like detective story. It's very interesting, it's very exciting. There are people getting murdered. Rhode Island, sorry. South Carolina, Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time. Apparently this is getting a TV show, so I need to get around and read this now. Like, for real. South Dakota, nope, sorry. Then we have Tennessee, and we have Catherine Addison, which is just her author name, not her real name, but we're gonna go with that here. The Goblin Emperor. I bought this for Alex as a birthday gift. Neither of us has read it yet. Texas, Scott Westerfeld. As you can see, I've started the book. I didn't get very far, but I should probably try again. Utah, Becca Fitzpatrick, Hush Hush. And this, oh, this was good when I read it. I'm not gonna reread it because I would probably find a lot of problems with it. And also, the second one was fine. The third one was the fourth one was, even when I read it, I was like, nope, this is getting out of hand. But oh, the first one, oh, those were some good times. We have Vermont, I've got nothing. Then we have Virginia, and we have Patrick Ness, I have more than one, but this one is easiest to get to, so let's just go with this one. The rest of us just live here. But this was a good book. It was a good book. Like, Patrick Ness writes good books. Like, he does. But that one, that was really good. Washington. Kimberly Durting, The Pledge. It was a good book. Nothing special. West Virginia. Sorry. Wisconsin. Patrick Rothfuss. The first one is on loan to someone. I don't know who. Here we have Weissman's Beer. Did you know the third one is on its way? Like, I think he's done with his first draft of the third book, so really excited for that. Yay! And then we have Wyoming. And I've got nothing. And that was all 50 states. Okay, so how many did I get? Let's count them. 32. I have books written by authors from 32 of the 50 states in US. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. There are a lot of good books in the pile of the floor. I've got my bookshelves are pretty American, we have to say. Don't have any revolutionary thoughts about it. That's just it. So we'll just finish. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this process and if you want to do it yourself, I highly recommend it. Maybe not pull all the books from your shelf. It creates a mess, but you know, you do you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye!